All right, I think I've got this set up right here. Hopefully the mic levels are all right. Got my AC running, so I turned the gain on the mic down just a little bit from the sound mixer. Let's see. I wanted to look at. I have not watched these matches yet. I was sleeping. I'd gotten up really early and had to run a bunch of errands, so I was taking a nap, and then I was like, "Oh, it's Saturday. I bet Ben is streaming from the Orem, Utah club." And on his Ben Sucks at Ping Pong YouTube channel, that uh, the title of that always cracks me up. But I wanted to watch some of his matches here, and I checked him earlier, and it said the video. I guess the video was still processing, so I'm going to. I just want to see it, maybe make some commentary or something, just to give my 2 cents. That's probably all it's worth, 2 cents. But hey, I enjoy watching his matches. I see a guy that's really wanting to get better at table tennis, and I love table tennis. I stopped playing for 27 years. I'm still not sure, still scratching my head why I did that. But yeah, it's one of those things where I could go back and smack myself, I would. But let's go ahead. Then I'll adjust the audio levels from there. I'll fast forward to the matches. I think he's warming up here, so I'll be fast forwarding through some of it.
Game 5 and Samuel went there, so I had to look to see if there was anyone else there.
I see the other guys using one of those cyber rackets. Who's that guy? Truls Morgard or whatever, the young Swedish kid. I call him a kid. I don't know. I think he's in his early 20s. I don't know, but I think he's the one that sponsors that. There is a guy at the Dayton Table Tennis Club that uses one of those. I played him a match. I don't know if that really makes any difference or not, but I don't know. I think I'll just stick to my regular carbon. I might be changing up my racket sometime, but all right, let's look at the warm up here.
What was that?
They still don't. I always warm up cross table because you've got more distance. It's a safer distance diagonally on the table. I don't know. I just like to always warm up. It's important to get somebody, a practice partner, or somebody that can hit the ball in a consistent location every time. Give or take. But somebody that can. I'm not saying they have to be a professional or anything like that, but I mean at least be able to have some sort of level of consistency when you're warming up, because man, rhythm and timing is so important in table tennis. And if you're practicing without developing a rhythm or a contact point, I think it can be more detrimental than helpful. See, I notice when Ben warms up, he's a lot more relaxed than he is in matches. And that's understandable. I think he's too results. He's worried about results right now a little too much, I think, maybe. Maybe not, I don't know. At this point in your game development, it's just best to get experience and, to hone that contact point and to find a rhythm. Find a rhythm in your game. Much more important than winning or losing right now. Just trying to get that feel. You know, I see his strokes have come a long way from just months ago. They've come a long way. There's still a few things that bother me. Just little things. And it's probably not the things that most people think of. A lot of people are so concerned about their stroke mechanics and all that. I'm seeing different issues than that. So I'll talk about that. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen this video. It just got processed, I think, maybe an hour ago. I got to watch it live. I got to watch live for like maybe 20 minutes. Yeah, I noticed the camera was at one point was kind of focusing in and out, and I think he was dropping some frames at one point. But overall, the quality, I'm not sure if he uses the building's Wi-Fi or whatever to live stream, but man, I'm impressed with the quality of his live stream overall. I mean, there's a few hiccups every once in a while, but I mean, I don't know if he's using a mobile. I'll have to ask him, because I wouldn't mind like doing that from the Dayton Table Tennis Club sometime, but I don't like it's at Wright State University, and we're in the basement of their student union building in a gymnasium where they play basketball and stuff like that. So still don't know how the noise level. I might turn the noise level down of the video a little bit. See how I turned my mic down just a little bit. Normally my mic is a little booming. I have a loud voice anyway, and I have noise suppression heavy metal headphones. They're called they're heavies. They're called heavies, but they have hell blocker mode and I'm sitting there shouting. People are like, "Can you be quiet? You're talking too loud." I have a loud voice anyway, so. Oh, well. See, I like that. I like Ben's forehand there. I don't like he's still using way too much upper arm coming through. There he goes. He's pointing toward the backhand. He's still a little bit on his heels. I'd like to see him down, just bending at the waist a little more. Maybe not quite as wide stance. I noticed when I watched his practice session the other day, his stance, especially close to the table, on the forehand, his stance is a little wide, and he tends to lean a little bit off balance, just a little bit. It just looks to me, it could be the camera angle, I don't know. But he's still missing that contact point of taking that ball. If I were to practice with him, I'd tell him, play the bounce. Don't really move your racket to the ball. You've got to move your body a little bit in front of the ball and play the bounce. Play the timing of the bounce more than worrying about like moving your racket toward the ball. And I notice he kind of gets out here a little bit in front. It kind of floats around a little bit where it's not 100% stable. It looks easier than it is, I'll tell you. People watch it, spectators watch this stuff, and they don't understand a lot of them don't understand the little technical details of getting that contact point. But if I were to warm up with Ben, I'd tell him to get up to the table just a little bit here and shorten the stroke and work on that to work on that timing where the ball sounds the same coming off the table. You should try to get that rhythm where you're hitting the ball at the exact same point, because then you have to move your body to the ball. And I notice Ben still a little bit is about moving his racket to the ball before the natural inclination to move your body, to position your body to the ball. It's still there. That's natural. I mean, he really hasn't been playing all that long. So, and he doesn't really have he's got a consistent club schedule, but I don't think he's got a consistent quality drill session schedule. When we used to play, I had a couple friends and we would do drills 90% of the time. We would do drills. And then we would play a little bit. Like we'd play on a certain night where we'd all get together. But when we were just like,
let's check them out before the match.
There was like 4 of us, on the college campus at the place. We would do drills like 80% of the time. Footwork drills, push, attack, third ball attack, fifth ball attack, all that stuff. Moving in and out, transitioning. Just playing 80 to 90% matches will slow down you'll get better, but it will slow down your progress. So it's understandable. See right there, he's concerned about moving his racket to the ball, not his body. I'm going to rewind that. I'll pause at certain times. I can't do it a whole lot. He plays for quite a while. This is an hour, 44 minutes. I'm not going to do the whole hour, 44 minutes, but
wonderful. All right, let's check him out before the match. Let's see. Yep, I was changing my grip.
But he's still his first instinct or whatever, his first habit is still moving the racket to the ball instead of the body position, because he doesn't have the contact point quite in his muscle memory yet.
Okay.
And a lot of that comes from issues I see with his from the ground up. So he's just leaning because he's worried about where his racket is. Right here. He should be getting around. Getting around, clearing space. But it's early. I mean, or take that ball with your backhand. Here's one thing I'm going to say about that serve. That really, really short serve down the line. I would use it very sparingly because I'd use it once a game as just a rhythm changer, a pace changer. A guy that's a player that's halfway decent is going to take advantage of that, because that ball is not really putting any pressure on. I would rather see him develop a real a faster, lower ball that corkscrews from the center of the table into a opponent's backhand that gives him opponent way less time. But it's got to have some oomph on it. It's got to be low. It's got to be like a stone skipping on the pond a little bit, and it's got to corkscrew into their elbow. I would much rather see him develop a serve like that, a serve that gives his body momentum to get into the point instead of that little drop. This is just my opinion. Now, every once in a while, yeah, for a surprise, but you can't telegraph it. If you sit there and telegraph where you're going with that serve, it's really defeating the purpose because there's no element of surprise there. His opponent's not having to move. I think that guy's name's Joe. He's not having to move at all. I'd slow this guy down too. I'd be taking my time. He doesn't like to play slow. I noticed that Joseph guy, he likes fast, frenetic pace. I would slow him down. I'd bounce the ball some. I'd bounce the ball on the table a little bit before the serve. Let's look at that shot right there. Not that one. I think it's the next shot. Okay. Not ready. Let's pause and back that up. This is one thing I'm talking about. You're not ready for the next shot. Okay, you hit the ball. I mean, that's a decent quality shot. You're still leaning. You're still leaning out a little bit, but at least, I mean, it made a decent sound off the racket. But look where your racket ends up. That I don't like at all. I do not like. Look how close you are to the table. Right here. I think I paused it in a pretty good spot. You're coming across the ball. You have a tendency that you when you push off your right leg, your leg straightens out. You're not transferring. Your weight transfer from the legs is after you hit the ball. Your weight transfer is going off here, and you're in front of your head. You're crossing over, and now you're out of position, and then you're not ready. You're not anywhere ready for this ball. This ball's already back, almost over the net, and your weight is still to the left. You didn't finish your stroke. This is not a stroke. This, and then getting back. You gotta get back. That's finishing the stroke. You're way out of position for this next ball. There's no way you're going to be able to hit a forehand here. It's too much. There's too much follow through. There's too much emphasis after you hit the ball. Your energy is going toward, a lot of the energy is going toward, and the weight transfer is going toward after you hit the ball. And you're falling off. Now, sometimes when you're out of position and you're in a rally, that happens. But you still want to minimize the loss of energy into the ball. And I see that you're coming across the ball a lot, like this, instead of, it's hard to do it because my camera window's not that. I'm gonna go live later when I'm actually playing on the robot a little bit. But you got to be on the side. You got to clear space. You're not clear. This is a perfect example of not clearing space for your shot. You're cheating that amount of space because your natural stroke is going to the left because you're not clearing the space on the side of your body. You've got to move around that ball. And then you've got to and it's a much shorter weight transfer. It's a quicker, more violent weight transfer. It's not a more violent stroke. It's not a harder, longer stroke. That's not what makes power. That's not what makes power in table tennis. You can watch these pro guys and they'll do this big follow through like a Runo snap around his head. None of that matters. None of that matters. That's just a thing that he's developed for rhythm and his game of timing and rhythm and his athleticism. But at the end of the day, all those pro guys have one common denominator. Their bat, I call it a bat a lot of times. That's like the English term. That's like they say that in the UK, your table tennis bat. Your racket, their common denominator is that their racket explodes from here to here. This short, they grip the ball from here to here. They all have that in common. Now, everyone's shot's going to look different because body types are different, athleticism is different, timing's different, but they all have basically the same fundamental technique, no matter what their follow through is, or some of them bring the racket back further, or some of them dip their shoulder lower. None of that matters. There's some players that I'm almost 6'3". My shot's going to look different than somebody that's 5'9". It's just, people are different. Individuals are different. Don't worry about all that. All that is concerned, the common denominator of those guys is they explode through the ball from this little 1.5 foot, 2 foot area right here. That's it. That contact right there is what matters. Not all this other stuff. See, not ready. You're not anywhere close to being ready for that next ball. You've got to get those. You've got to get that right foot back again. You're getting there, but you weren't ready. I mean, I know he got an edge ball, but you weren't ready.
Yeah.
Your body's squared up to the table. You weren't ready to hit another forehand. I want to see those feet. I want to see those feet pivoting around, pivoting back around.
Okay, ready? Yeah.
Not a big waist turn
I had this on
without the feet.
I have my regular rubber. I did my regular rubber with spun.
What?
Yeah, you need to try it. It's on my regular racket
on
too.
on the hardback racket?
Yeah. Well, this is just a regular racket. But
Yeah.
yeah, my regular ones. It's
No
really good. It's
way.
very, it's
Dang.
very.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Mine was bottoming out a little bit, so.
That's awesome.
So I thought I'd try it. It's fun to see if I can so far. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
So far. But I would love you to try it.
Yeah, we gotta try
I
that.
think you'll love it.
That's so cool.
Once you start clearing space,
Yeah.
And then I just add some.
and it's good that you're thinking relax, and that's part of it. Relax your shoulders, relax. But to get energy in the ball, you've got to clear space for your stroke. You've got to position your body.
Short warm up. Okay. I'm ready if you're ready. Yeah, sure.
And the backhand's a much more subtle weight shift. That's just your feet aren't moving because you're worried about your stroke mechanic up here. I'm not worried about that. Yeah, you're paralyzed by analysis a little bit. And I'm seeing the problem from the ground up. And it's not a hard, it's easily fixable. We've got to get you, because you're getting much more stable. Your approach is better at the table. You're getting a little bit more comfortable. You're starting to understand the ins and outs of it. But what you're not doing right now is you're not getting energy into the ball. Easily fixable. See the big waist turn? Let's look at that one. But your lower body is out of sync. You're thinking this big waist turn is going to give you power with a big swing, and that's not what does it. Once again, right there, you're coming across the ball. There's no energy being put in the ball because you're not clearing space. Your legs are not, your bottom, your footwork. You need footwork drills. You need quick weight. You need quick foot weight transfer drills. Not this stuff. I'm not worried about this stuff at all. This stuff's fine. Once you get the from the ground to the waist figured out, all this other stuff's going to fall right into place, baby. And you'll start getting more energy into that ball. You'll see a huge difference. You'll start pushing these guys off the table because that's how you get spin. You've got to develop the feeling of spin, and you can't do that unless you get your from the waist down proper somewhat. It's a constant thing you have to work on. It's a feeling, but when you get the proper mechanics from when I watch you play, I don't watch this stuff. I don't watch you. I'm watching your foot. I'm watching your feet. I'm watching your feet from the waist. That's your big issue. I said that a long time ago. Easily fixable. With a little practice, You can practice that stuff without a table, without a practice partner. You don't even need a racket in your hand. If ask yourself a question when you're playing. And I don't want you thinking about this stuff while you're playing. You shouldn't be thinking about your strokes while you're playing. You should be out there, and when your footwork's in order, a lot of that other stuff takes care of itself. But right now, I see an unbalanced weight transfer. I don't see any energy from the ground being put into the ball. And I don't care if you miss. But once you start, you've got to let go and start developing a bigger energy transfer into that ball from the ground up. Then once you get that timing, you can start ripping shots. And you've got to develop a spinny loop. When I first started playing, I had a guy that was about a 2000 player. He was a principal at a middle school about a half an hour from where I grew up. And he came to Ball State University every once in a while at night. And he played C-Miller grip because he knew Danny C-Miller. He had practiced with, and this guy, he's about a 2000 player. I'd only seen a 2000 player at like the Pan Am games, like from the stands watching Sean O'Neill and Joe Ing and all those guys. But I had never, this was the best player I'd ever, I think this is 1987. And he had a slow loop that was unbelievable. But he taught me a weight transfer, the foot weight transfer to do the slow loop. Now, I didn't try to copy his, because he had the C-Miller grip and he had medium pips on the back side, but he played a lot like Danny C-Miller, but he was a good athlete, big dude, 6'3", he was out of shape, 6'3", 250 pounds, but I'll tell you, guy could move on rails, and he had a slow loop that was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But his feet transfer were like, bah, bah, like he would stomp, like both feet would stomp, like he'd do a little jump and bam, and we would play like on a wood floor, like in a gymnasium, because he set up a little club at the middle school that he was the principal at. And his feet were squeaking. He said, I want to hear, when you're playing, I want to hear your feet squeaking like you're playing basketball. If it's not, your footwork needs help. Ask yourself, I know you're playing on industrial carpeting. Would your feet be squeaking? Would your shoes be squeaking a lot if you're playing on a wood floor? If not, it's time to bump up the footwork game. So you're not ready for the next shots. I like your strokes. Like I said, all that'll take care of it, so I ain't worried about that. Not worried about that stuff. I'm worried about you putting energy into the ball. That ball went straight down in the net. Because your weight transfer from the ground is not right. You're too up. That was actually a little better. Because that was actually a little better. I don't care if you missed it. I'm looking at the quality. See right there? Was you took a big stroke. Did I go back far enough? You take this big long stroke with a big follow through and the ball just goes down into the net. Good serve. because there's no weight transfer on your. You're doing a weight. You're guiding the ball. You're not put your arm right here. For one, your left foot should be more around. Your right foot should be around. You shouldn't be quite this wide. Your racket and arm should be blurry right now. Did I stop the video? I mean, it should look like you have 3 arms. Like 3, because you're still hitting the ball in front of your body. Now, in essence, you do want to hit the ball in front of your body, but your body's turned. When somebody says, what I'm saying is you're hitting the ball in front of your body squared to the table. Your racket should not be facing how it is right now. The bottom of your racket should be more lined up like this. Now, it's not going to be perfect because there might be a time where you're a little late on the ball, but your racket should be lined up like this. Not like this. I know I'm being a little harsh. I apologize, but I'm trying to help a little bit. I see I love your intensity, and I like your game. I'm just seeing things that I'm just seeing some things that need work. And I'm telling you, 80% of it is the lower body. And your strokes and your waist turn and everything up here has to compensate for your lack of your lack of, or I should say your issues with the lower body. Everything has to compensate. It's a chain reaction. I'd like to see you get clear a little more space. I'd like to see your right shoulder here down more, where you're actually getting down and you're releasing your tension. I want your arm relaxed and your grip somewhat relaxed. I mean, it's going to tense up when you contact the ball, but I'd like to see you keep your tension longer and explode. Got to get around the ball and explode through that ball. Don't uncoil your spring so quickly. But I understand that you're insecure about your strokes. And I'm saying I don't think you need to be as insecure about your racket as you think you do. And like I said, your upper body has to compensate for the issues with the lower body. And that's the hard thing about table tennis. The ball moves. It's not like golf where the ball just sits there. And then you can develop that technique. The ball's moving. The ball is moving, and you don't have a lot of time. And here's the thing about table tennis. It's the lightest ball in sports. Hey, what's up? IT Catch. That is how you pronounce it. Hey, how you doing? I'm just watching Ben's live stream. This is the first time going through it. I was taking a nap earlier, and I couldn't catch it. I only caught like maybe 20 minutes of it, or maybe not even that much. I think I caught the last part where he played Terry. Then I think he played somebody else. I can't remember, but I didn't get to watch these matches. So I'm kind of, Yes, I'm watching you watch Ben's live stream. It's like in what's that movie? Inception. I'm watching you watching. Naps are great. Yeah, especially when you're my age. But no, I had to get up real early and run a bunch of errands. I took a long walk in the morning, and I'm going to take a long walk late tonight. But I plan on getting on the table in a little bit after I'm done with this. I might get on the table with the robot, maybe for a half hour or so. Watching Ben's stuff makes me want to play. You know what I mean? It gets me in the mood to play. I've missed the Dayton Club the last 2 weeks, but I've been trying to hit the robot a little bit more. And I've been trying to jump rope, and I gotta get my ass in shape. But I'm just commenting here that, you know, I think the majority of Ben's problems are from the ground to the waist. It's not the strokes. He's trying to compensate. He's trying to compensate less power his upper body is trying to compensate. I wish I had that freedom to play whenever. Yeah, I've got the freedom. That's what divorce does. Yeah, I divorced my wife about 4 years ago or something, and she just walked away. I got everything. We didn't have any kids or anything, so she walked away. It was a mutual thing. I got the house, you know. So yeah, I can do. I mean, I could have had that even when I was married. I could have had all that. She didn't care. But anyway, let's go on with. But what I'm saying here is Ben is doing this big long stroke, and the ball's going right down into the net because he's not getting energy into the ball, and that's from the ground. I think his strokes are good. I'm not worried about his strokes. They're getting smoother. They're getting much smoother than they were. He's not as wristy and slappy when he's contacting the ball. He's actually smoother. Now we got to get him with some energy into the ball. That's because these guys have no respect. They're just kind of standing there ready. I mean, this goes for his serve. It goes for all his stuff. So, see right there. There's no energy going into the ball. He's not ready. He's not ready to hit a forehand there. I actually like that shot right there better than any shot I've seen him do. Even though he's leaning, he kind of accidentally fell into it where he made space for his shot. But the footwork here, that's his problem. He's got to compensate because he's not getting his feet in position. He's not getting his body in position to make these shots. He's trying to make strokes that his lower body's not allowing him to do. Oh, no, you're 100% right about that. I think his form is all right. I don't think he's adjusting for the variation. Well, he can't because his footwork's not there. His weight transfer of his lower body is not there. Yeah, and this is stuff that he can practice without a table. You don't need a table. I mean, it would help to have like a dining room table there to simulate you don't need your racket. You don't need any of that stuff. But yeah, the lack of footwork, because he's not properly transferring his energy into the ball from the ground. His legs are his legs aren't in the equation right now. He might think he's doing it, but it's not. I can look. I don't even look at his strokes when they play. I'm looking at his footwork and his weight transfer. And it's never going to be perfect. Nobody's is ever perfect. That's the thing about table tennis that makes it so damn difficult, because the ball moves fast and it's the lightest ball in sports. It's super light. So the margin for error is so small, and you have to sync everything up as well as you can to get any sort of power into the ball. Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. That's one of many. That's one of many things right now. Yep. He's just not mobile enough right now properly to try to hit quality forehands like he wants to do. Now he came in. I mean, that's a tough. That shot right there is a tough shot. That is a hard shot. That shot he did right there is not a shot I would have tried. I would have tried to keep my elbow lower and flick the ball a little more. Well, they've got mega legs and they freaking train 6 hours a day and they've got a whole system. Yeah. I'm not worried about pros. You know, I try to pick, back in the day, I used to pick a professional and say, okay, I want to play a little like him. So I'd watch low quality VHS video tapes of Appelgren, you know, can't move like Appelgren. Even when I was 25 years old and I was 180 pounds and I was a pretty good athlete, I couldn't move like Appelgren. Are you kidding me? You know, or Jorgen Pearson or those guys, you know. But I'm just worried. What happened? Here, let me play this shot again here. I think I went back too far. But that shot he tried to take, but once again, when he took it, he didn't clear space. That's a tough shot. I didn't. There we go. I didn't hit the pause button. I need a better method here. See, and now he's contacting the ball. I really wish he'd push forward instead of swipe. Yeah, he has a tendency to come across the ball. After I'd been playing for about 4 or 5 years, and I had taken lessons and I was playing all the time. I had a buddy who was about 1,100 player, and his game reminds me exactly like Ben. And he wanted to wipe on the side of the ball. But once again, what's the problem here? The feet, the bottom from the waist down is the problem here. He's not in position. This is a tough shot. It's a tougher shot than it looks. His left leg's in front. I mean, I'm being ultra critical, but I mean, everybody, like I said, it's tough, but the footwork is the root of the problem here. But that's all right. I mean, you know. Yeah, he's not in position. Nobody's going to be in position you know what I mean? But with him, I see it as a major problem. It's a problem for everybody, don't get me wrong. You know, footwork's a problem for everybody. That's not professional, but with Ben, I think maybe he's focusing on the wrong thing to work on. And it's boring to work on footwork. Yeah. He's doing the big body twist. He's doing the big waist twist without the transfer of the weight at the right time on his feet. And it's throwing him off balance. When he's on, he can do the foot. That's what I'm saying. I've seen him do it with smaller steps, but it's not ingrained yet. And he's still worried about getting the racket to the ball instead of getting his body in position to make the stroke. I still catch him worrying about his racket first. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's 90% of his problem is shadow train and multi-ball practice. Yeah, and if he doesn't have a good way to do multi-ball practice, it makes progression a lot tougher. I was saying that earlier when nobody was watching. I said it's tough. It might sound like I'm being harsh. Hey, I feel his pain. Let's put it that way. I feel the pain, brother. I'm in the same boat. But yeah, without multi-ball, because when you're doing multi-ball, the good thing about a robot can't simulate a player. They can say all this a little bit. Like a robot can't simulate somebody blocking for you. Like I've had professional players block for me. It's totally different than any kind of simulation you can get on a robot. Like I've warmed up with some top players in the world. I'm not bragging. I just went up and said, hey, and they're like, oh, who's this dipshit? You know, like, I got nothing better to do. You know. Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, and hey, I feel his pain. Trust me. Like I said, you know, I can't speak for you, but I'm in the same boat, brother. But when I go to the Dayton Table Tennis Club, I'm not worried about my technique. I'm worried about getting my fat ass moving. I'm more worried about my footwork and relaxing, and so I think I can, yeah. I wanted to be when I was 19, 20 years old. Yeah, that was a delusion.
So matches you just really want to win.
You know, and then a couple of years later, reality set in. I mean, I progressed my rating level, but got to the point where I was like, yeah.
Like I was being timid, and so I was telling myself,
It's not really being timid, Ben. He's saying, oh, I'm being timid. Nah, it's just you're not focusing on the right. You're not focusing your energy in the right spot. He's still worried about swinging his racket. And I'd like to. I'm going to try to get out there in September. I'm trying to schedule. I got a few things that it may not happen, but I was thinking about. I was going to take like a week. My birthday is in the beginning of September. It's not even has anything to do with that. But I was thinking about. I haven't been on like a road trip in a long time. You know what I mean? I like to stay at home. I've got all my, you know, my gizmos. I got my man cave and my comic books. And I make my own comic book as well, so I'm into that. So I've got my own little stuff here at home. But I need to get away, and I'm thinking September I was gonna head on out. I've been to Colorado before. I've played table tennis in Colorado a long time ago, in Colorado Springs, for 2 days. But I was thinking about heading out that way maybe for a week. I've got a friend that lives in Layton, Utah, that's a comic book artist. And I'm thinking about heading out there maybe the first or second week of right around Labor Day. And maybe I'll coordinate with Ben and I can meet him at the club. I could play maybe 2 nights at their club and then meet him at the club one day if he could. I don't know if they're even, I don't know their total schedule or anything. I'm thinking about going out there, but I'd like to do some stuff with him. But I would focus more on being closer to the table and quicker off the bounce. Oh, really? Okay. Maybe he doesn't care. I don't know. I'm just saying. But I'm going to try to get out there. But what I would try to work with him is faster weight transfer, more subtle, a little quicker weight transfer. Because I was taught learn to get the ball quick off the bounce. Learn to play the ball off the bounce. And then learn the other stuff later. But get that timing and contact point where you're used to doing that little subtle quick weight shift. When I took lessons off of Ching Hua, we were real quick. I had a guy from Latvia. He was on the junior national Latvian team when he in the 80s. He was about 25, 26 years old. He was about 24, 2,500 player, but he was at the South Bend Club for a while. He stayed there and he was like a coach there for about a year and a half. And we got up to the table and he told me the backhand's like dealing cards. So it's laggy. What's laggy? My stream? But he was like, we're going to be up to the table and act like you're dealing cards. You know what I mean? You ever see a professional dealer deal cards? Well, we got that quick. Oh, laggy. Oh, yeah, Ben's footwork is... I'm telling you, he gets good footwork, his game is going to skyrocket. I'm telling you. And he doesn't even... He's not that far away. But right now he's focused on the upper half of his body, and I'm not. I'm like, I want to see that footwork improve. But yeah, we got to the table and and we would do that for freaking half hour until I couldn't feel my arm. Until it throw a frisbee. Yeah, that's true, but that's for like a longer stroke. We were doing real quick up close to the table. That's I would. The way I was taught is learn that feeling first of that contact, or where it's, where you can control that, and then you kind of add that in. But Ben's got to develop spin. Spin is still the most important thing in table tennis. Yeah. Spin, and I'm talking about being able to go from slow spin to being able to change the speed of the speed of your shots. But he's got to develop spin, because being able to spin the ball is the foundation for everything else. It creates the arc, it creates consistency, it creates rhythm, timing. Everything stems around being able to generate spin. When you can generate spin, everything else will fall into place. You can always make small adjustments and hit the ball more forward. But spin is very important. And right now, I think if he can feel 100%. And proper footwork will get him there. And being able to impart some spin on the ball. Right now, his lower body is not allowing him to put spin on the ball properly. I can see it in the video. I'm not saying he doesn't land some good shots, but quality spin is not there. And I don't see any of these guys at this club being able to spin the ball with quality. I'll be honest with you. I mean, there might be one or two that have decent, but I've not seen anybody like have a consistent slow loop. I've not seen it from anybody that I've seen at this club yet that's actually got quality. And I'm not digging on them. I mean, you know, at all. I'm just saying I'm yet to see somebody, you know, develop. Oh, yeah, I'm not saying that 100%. But that he's got to get if he could develop a slow spinny loop. Oh boy, Colin's pretty good. Yeah, oh, I think I know you're talking about. That June guy is halfway. He's got a halfway decent game. I like it. Yeah, that Colin. Yeah, he can put some quality spin in his shot. That Colin guy. Yep. The box guy in disco. Yeah, 100%. Yep. So let me fast forward a little bit here. But I don't see anybody here with like a devastating slow loop.
It's good to know.
And a devastating slow loop is still tough to deal with.
You know what? That's a good point. Like when I was playing Joseph, I was thinking about. I was thinking too much on my forehand technique, and I was not thinking about brushing, and that's what was. Now that I think about it, that's.
But you can't brush proper. What he's saying there is he's worried about brushing. But if you're not in position, brushing the ball makes no difference, because brushing the ball is taking into account that you're in good position and you're actually exploding your racket in that zone. You can't clear space. Yeah, you can't clear space. If your footwork won't allow you to clear space to brush the ball properly, then you shouldn't be even trying to do it. You'd be better off trying to hit the ball, flat hit the ball. Yeah, there's not anybody here that I've seen with like a real devastating slow loop or a consistent. You know what I'm talking about, like a buzzsaw. You know, yeah, it's rough. And they can slow loop and then they can come in. Because back in the day, the game was you slow loop to set up they called it a table loop, which is like a loop drive now. Yeah, when you're squished, you can't generate quality because if you're leaning, you've got to compensate for your lower body being out of position. I mean, it still applies to 40 millimeter a lot. Spin isn't as important as it was back then, but it's still very, very, very important. I would say it's still the most important thing, being able to put quality spin on the ball. Because now it's kind of a hybrid. Now they've they've mixed a lot of more. Back in the day, it was spin first, speed next. And now it's kind of mixed where now you're spin and speed. But spin is still important. But back in the day, you saw a lot more guys with slower spinny loops. And there were some dudes that I played in some tournaments. Big, these days it's hard to score with just spin. Oh, 100%. 100%. But the point is still, it's the foundation for developing everything else. Because if you can, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I played some dudes in some big tournaments that had some devastating loops, like slow loops. Like, I was like, oh my God. Like, you had to, like, freaking smother the ball. I played I went up to Toronto in 1989. I trained up in Toronto, Canada, at a club outside of Toronto, Windsor, Canada. Scarborough, Canada. And you go through Windsor to get up there. But yeah, it was a little suburb called Scarborough, and they had a club where they had a team called the Scarborough Kings, and they had a guy who was a coach. He died, but he was from Romania or Yugoslavia. What is his name? I can't. Left-handed European player, and he played like an old-fashioned type early '80s game. But oh my God, he had a slow loop like you wouldn't believe. That ball, it took an eternity to get to you, and once you touched it, I mean, you had to block it. I played him, Kazanovic, Zoltan Kazanovic, or something like. I can't remember. I got to play with him for like a whole day. I got to practice with him. But he was like a world-class player back in like the late 70s, early 80s. Oh my God, he had a buzzsaw freaking slow loop, dude. I was like, he's like 2,500 something, rating.
It was the technique with the brush.
What was his name? Kazanovic was his last name.
Completely
Yeah.
forgot.
Oh well.
Probably would have helped.
Sorry, I ramble on about.
This next game.
Don't get me started talking about table tennis. I can talk.
Okay.
A lot of it's back in the day when I actually
So helped.
wasn't
Hit it right too.
a fat, slow loser. Well, young. I started playing when I was 17. I wish I would have played, or 16.
Oh, that was a
I wish I
murder
would have
shot.
started. I wish I would have kept playing. Yeah, safety. Yeah, spin is rhythm. Spin is safety. Spin teaches you develop the feeling. Whenever I was helping out a guy at the local club when I was, back in the day, I'd always try to get him learn how to spin the ball. I'd always work with him, learn how to spin the ball. Learn how to keep that ball on that racket just that instant longer to penetrate that sponge. Because we also use speed glue. I'm still not used to the way my racket feels from when it did back in the day. Because we used to glue up, speed glue, crack. You could spin the crap out of it. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's live.
Ben's like, it's live. Let's fast forward to Ben's match here. Here's another thing that I noticed with Ben. What's that? That VOC. What's VOC? Here's another thing I noticed with Ben. His racket has to volatile organic chemicals. Okay. Well, whatever. We used to use it was a mixture of like paint thinner. It would expand that sponge. It would expand that sponge for about 20 minutes. It was unbelievable. Everyone was doing it. I went to the North American Team Championships. I played in the North American Team Championships from 1989 to 1997. No, not in the hall. They weren't. It was at Cobo Hall Arena. Cobo Hall Arena in Detroit, Michigan. About a 4-hour 4 hours away from where I grew up. But, you know, there were world-class players there, you know, coming over. But, dude, I saw Michael Adams. He was the #1 player in Great Britain in the late 80s, early 90s. Can't remember if he's left or right, but short guy, but, man, everywhere. I mean, he would just crazy forehand rally, topspin. He was everywhere. And I watched him in between games glue, because I was sitting there because one of my friends actually played him. Not really a friend, but one guy that I was acquaintance with that played in a table tennis club from Louisville got to play in a match against him in one of the divisions. And yeah, but I was watching him play live. You know, I'm right there, you know, right standing at the barricade, and he would rip that off and put that speed glue on. And I was like, I'm going to start speed gluing after every match, you know. But I got to play the #1 player from Jamaica in a tournament. At that tournament, I forget what year it was, maybe 94, 95. I got to play Michael Hyatt. He was the #1 player in Jamaica at the time. And he was speed gluing. He was putting speed glue. Now, he didn't need it to beat me. You know, he's 2,500 and I was 2080 or whatever. So, yeah, but he did it anyway. He glued up once between games, but crack. I mean, you could just hear that sponge. You could hear that ball off that sponge. But I was speed gluing too, so... But I took a game. He had a younger brother. I took a game I played his brother in that same tournament. His brother's a lower level, like 2,300. I ended up taking a game off his brother, and then reality set in. But during the match, but yeah, that was. But what I'm saying about Ben here, I noticed. I know I get sidetracked. All these memories of table tennis coming back from all these tournaments. I noticed that because he's not getting in position and he's not clearing space with his lower body, that his racket has to travel extra to get the proper angle. His racket's got to travel further to get the proper angle to the ball. Instead of his body getting space to hit the ball properly, he's compensating by having to swing his racket extra, and he misses a lot of shots because of it. You really don't want your racket traveling a lot. It's your body mechanics that your racket and your forearm follow your body mechanics. And that's another thing that has to compensate for not getting proper position and not clearing space. I notice he's still guiding the ball. If you'll notice, he's like revved up and ready to swing hard, and then he guides the ball.
Way brushier. Is it that one?
I thought that was 2-1.
No, that's not it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's not it.
Very good.
Yes, it is.
Is it really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, as close as you can, 100%.
This side is my normal rubber.
You're all worried about that speed glue. I think that speed glue stuff. I think that speed glue stuff offends you. We were loving it. I was ordering speed glue from Paddle Palace, and I was ordering 3 cans at a time. Yeah, you move the zone to the ball as much as you can. Oh, I remember when they banned speed glue. Like the last year I played, the last year I played at the Cobo Hall at the North American Team Championships, they announced, like when you registered for the tournament months in advance, you had to register months in advance, and you had to get your team together. We made T-shirts. It was I played with dudes from some of the Indianapolis club. I played at the Indianapolis club a lot. So we got a 5-man team. Some years we had a 4-man team, but there was some years that we have a 5-man team. And we'd make T-shirts, and you'd have to make a team name and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. We had one guy that played at the Indianapolis club owned his own T-shirt printing shop, so he printed up shirts for us and everything. It was really cool. I miss those days, the good old days, where I could play. I could play for a 3-day tournament, and not, we'd be tired, but man. But we used to train for it. We used to, ride, I still ride my mountain bike a little bit, but not like I should. But we used to jump rope, and we could ride our bikes and everything. I got to get back to that. He's practicing his stroke there, but he's still not moving his feet in position. See, that's not bad. What he's doing there is not bad. If the ball comes perfect. But if he needs to make an adjustment in his body position, that's when it comes unraveled a little bit. Because then he starts moving his racket instead of his feet. It's still ingrained in him that his racket goes out there. Even with a smash like that, he's adjusting his racket instead of moving and stroking. He's adjusting his racket to where the ball is. Now you might, everyone has to do that a little bit. Yeah, he's still thinking paddle first. Oh, he's playing his practice buddy, Michael or whatever his name. Yeah, I just realized he's playing that guy. I think that guy uses anti-spin on one side. Anti-spin, anti-spin, whatever. Oh, the black is the anti. Okay, so you know more about it than I do. He serves with his anti-spin? Red. Oh, block. Okay, I got you. I need to get my glasses on. Crying out loud. My eyes ain't what they used to be. Might be red. I'm not, to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't think he's serving. Yeah, he's not serving with it's got to be the red side. He's not going to serve with the dead. Some people do. I played guys. We had a lot of guys at the club that played medium pips, long pips, anti-spin. It doesn't really bother me. Here's the thing about playing guys. Here's the playing guys that play the anti-spin stuff. Unless they're really good at it, like really top level, they're covering up a weakness. I like the fact that I know that they can't hit a quality shot with it. So sometimes I invite them to play it because I know they're like a guy plays long pips. I know he's not going to hit past me. I know I'm going to have time. Yeah, there's advantages and yeah, big time. when I'm feeling energized and my footwork's on, I love playing against it. But when I'm tired and I'm feeling drained, I hate playing against it. Because you really have to, that's when you're playing long pips and anti-spin and stuff like that, that's when you really have to control the ball. That's when having that good control, that and that good contact point comes into, and a lot of that's in the legs. Like I rely on my legs. Whenever I play guys that play,
Which is fair.
when I'm playing a lot against that kind of stuff, my legs get a lot more tired because I'm having to make subtle changes. I remember back in the day, I had one practice partner that played long pips, and when I would train with him, my legs were, those were the days, man, your legs were tired. Yeah, you really do. 100%. Like I said, when I'm back in the day when I was feeling really good and my legs were feeling good, I used to tear that stuff up. I didn't have a problem with it. But yeah, it drains you. You really need your legs under you to play that stuff. Play against that stuff. Good shot. He's still brushing on the. He's still brushing against his body and going across. But I mean, if he could move around the table a little bit and put that diagonal toward, drive that guy off the table, create an angle. Ben doesn't create angles. When you don't have footwork, it's hard to create angles on the table. Damn, he should have gotten that net. It's another thing, you got to come in and lift with your legs a little bit against those serves. Just a little bit. Yeah, a lot of times he's flat-footed returning those serves. Chasing kids around while, oh, no, that's all right. I just had a little time to kill. Oh, I didn't know it was 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock here. It's probably a lot earlier for you, but. Sometimes I got to chase my cat around, but I don't have any kids, so. Woo. That's nice, but I'd like to have him set up and create his shot. Create the next shot. Create an angle on the next shot.
Here we go.
Get those feet shuffling, Ben.
Yeah, good point.
Get up on your toes. Get those feet shuffling. He stands high on his pushes, I think. Well, yeah, because he squats down and it doesn't look comfortable, and he comes up and he doesn't Get back down. Yep. See, he's coming up on the table and he stands up, but he's not getting. He becomes an observer. He doesn't. He's not anywhere prepared for the next shot. I push, I'm out of there. I push, I'm out of there. I'm back. I'm. Oh, everybody is. 100%. But I hate pushing. I hate pushing. So I try not to push much in a match. And when I'm up there, I'm in and then I'm back. But that's just the way that guy from Latvia that I was going up to South Bend, Indiana with in 1994, I was going up there once, sometimes twice a week. I was driving 2 hours. He beat that into me. I mean, he had me freaking about ready to collapse. He had me moving. I use H3N rubbers. I'm not sure what I'm not up on the new equipment. I've got the Raza 7. I just got a Yasaka Carbon with Raza 7, Yasaka Raza 7 or Hurricane. See, I'm not up on the new. All that stuff's new to me. Back in the day, it was Yasaka Mark V, but I used Donic. I had a Donic Jorgen Pearson carbon blade. Oh yeah, I'm a dinosaur, dude. You understand? I'm almost 56 years old. My table tennis. I stopped playing table tennis when I was freaking 28 years old and never picked it up again until the beginning of this year. I mean, I stopped when I was 28. I should have kept playing. I've never played table tennis over 200 pounds. Well, that's not. I mean, I'm almost 6'3", but I'm 245, pushing 250. I never once played table tennis over 200 pounds. So I mean, all this new equipment and all this stuff is just, it's like a freaking, it's culture shock.
Slowing down really helped. Brushing really helped. But, and he was playing anti that third game the entire time. Rallies were much longer.
Yeah, it's like an upgraded Mark V. Yeah, that's
Even
what
though
somebody at the Dayton Club told me.
was
So
much more in the final score. I do feel like I played much better.
I might invest in a new. Ben's talking about slowing down, and that's true. I want him to slow down, but I don't mean literally slow down. I mean relax, don't rush your shots, but that means you still got to be fast to get in position. Fast in position, and then don't rush your shot. But to me, all his strokes are way too long, way too guiding. Yeah, well, yeah, he strokes fast, but when his energy is not focused when he's where it needs to be, contacting the ball. But he's referring to his strokes are too fast, they're not holding the ball. I get it. Yep. I know you know what I mean. I mean, it doesn't mean you're moving slow. You still got to get, you got to get up on your toes. You got to get up on the balls of your feet, and you've got to shuffle your feet. Like I said, watch those guys play on like a hardwood, like a basketball court. Their feet are squeaking. When I play at the Dayton Table Tennis Club, my feet are squeaking in those videos. I'm slow as hell, but I mean, I'm trying. Yep. Everything, like I said, he's compensating for the lack of the ground up power. He'll get it. I have no doubt he'll get it. Now we're going an hour, 30 minutes. Let's fast forward. Okay, here's the match with Terry. Let's look at Terry's hard bat, I think, right?
Beat you 11-0.
Ben seems a little more comfortable against hard bat.
So Terry and I will play.
Yeah, let's watch it, and then I'm going to get off here, and then I'm going to...
All right.
Yeah, he'll get it. I'm not worried about it. I want to make sure... I'm going to tell him, in my opinion, you're focusing on the wrong thing right now. Yeah, oddly enough, the first match I played coming back to the Dayton Table Tennis Club after all those time, the first human being I played in 27 years was a hard bat guy. And it was weird. He's about 1,600. I won the match, but it took me a game to like go, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, there's definitely less to think about. And once again, moving and footwork is critical. I mean, footwork's critical everywhere. I mean, anytime you play. And I see Ben doing the twisty waist thing, and it really is. That's even if your feet aren't in the proper position, you're not getting your lower body in the proper position. To me, that's detriment. The more waist turn is detrimental. See, right there's not bad. He's way more comfortable against. It's so weird to me. He's way more comfortable against the hard bat. See, now that's getting carried away. He's still got it ingrained in him that swinging harder and longer equals quality. See if we could get him doing that stroke more with a more proper lower body weight shift. That would help him tremendously. But that shot right there is just not going to be, that shot he just did right there, just not going to be consistent.
How you doing? Oh, Ben Affleck. I'm about to go run a couple football fields.
That's my job. Ah, he made. I mean, he may go. Ah.
Yeah, you should I'll be here all day long.
Where is my hard bat? It's over there. I'm testing it.
I want to see that in action.
Yeah. Okay, we'll play with that.
He doesn't need me. This guy from the internet. Well, didn't you actually play him?
I forced the back in.
Didn't you go there? Or he went to your... I think I watched that. It's been a long time ago. I think I watched that. I can't remember. Well, it's hard to give anybody advice. You know what I mean? I want to get on the table. you can give all the advice in the world, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, but I know what I'd work on with him if I was there. I'd work on the contact point close to the table. I played him when he visited the OC, but under less than ideal conditions. Oh, that's Orange County? Oh, nice. I've never been to California. I've been to Nevada multiple times, but I've never been to California. I've been to Arizona. I've never been to Utah. Been to Arizona, and I've been to New Rubbers and 3 hours of sleigh. Oh, that's not good. I'll tell you what I'm worried about going to Utah is the altitude. I think I'm in Ohio. We're about 1,500. I'm in Ohio Valley. We're about 1,500 feet. And I played in Colorado back in the day. I played for 2 days in Colorado, and but I was in good physical condition then. I weighed 180 pounds, and I could play all day long and not even get tired, so I didn't even really think about it much. The spin was a little different. There was less, it was harder to generate spin. Not just a little bit. I could tell the difference. It was a little bit harder the spin arc was just a little different. I'm worried about altitude. That's what I'm worried about. I got to lose. I'll tell you, though, I got to lose 30 pounds before I get out there. That's what I'm trying to do. £30, that's minimum.
Oh, thank you.
But I know what I'd work with him. I'd work with him.
Catch it.
I'd work with him the quick stuff at the table. Get comfortable. Get comfortable getting that ball off the bounce. Right off the bounce. That and push and get back and rip it.
Getting a phone call.
Push, get back, rip it. I'm going to get on the robot here. I'm going to about 5 minutes. Or after this match with Terry, I'm going to get on I'll have to shut this down and then go to the other side of the house where I have my laptop. I'm in my man cave right now where I've got a kind of a studio. Where I do my comic book crap.
Oh, yeah.
2-2. Ben would benefit from a robot, big time. Because getting to move side to side, I'm first worried about him breaking and resetting and finishing the stroke, and getting to move side to side, in and out. But getting that where you're because this kind of thing right here is not putting any pressure on him of retracting and getting in position for the next shot. 1 week training camp, yeah. It's just for an hour or two. But you have to be able to get that rhythm. It's like where everything sounds the same. You know what I mean? That rhythm. When I warm up on my robot, I try to establish that rhythm. So when I do have to move in a match, that rhythm is in. It's like a metronome. You know what I mean? You keep that constant rhythm. That guy, that coach I had from Latvia, he beat that into me. You practice with him for 5 straight hours. Oh my God. Yeah.
Lo tengo yo. Sí, sí, yo lo tengo. Porque yo dije por si acaso porque no se lo llevara.
Rhythm is very important. It's the basis. Yep. Boy, that's hard to get, and it's hard to do against a hard bat player. There's no doubt. See, he does much better there. I would still try to get him just a little closer and a little shorter, just a little shorter. That's not really too slappy there. I don't mind that, but you're still not playing he's not playing the bounce. He's playing the ball. He's moving to the ball, not the bounce. Oh, 100%. What you just said there about the rhythm, not the same in practice. Oh yeah, 100%. I would rather see him in matches just go for it. Just loosen up and try to rip shots. Unless he's worried about results. And results are important to some people. But right now, I would tell him, look, slow down. Shorten your stroke. Get your feet moving faster. And go for your shots. But that doesn't mean swing harder. Force him to move that. Yeah. A robot, I'm telling you, a robot would help him. It would be very beneficial. There you go. He should be able to set and do that all the time against that Terry guy. See, I like that. I like. He had a really good session. Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. I like what he did here. See if I can find it. See, there he's back on his heels and he's not. Much more comfortable against the hard bat. I think that guy plays hard bat. Yeah, it's coming up here. I really like what he's doing here against the hard bat. So he takes that little, he does that little roll. He does that little roll right off the bounce. See, he's just not ready to create his own. He's not ready to create his shot there. Well, that was cheap. See, that's good. That's the shot I'm talking about. The down the line. I'd like to see him even go further, a little more extreme down the line there. Come in a little faster, still smooth. That roll, but hold the tension a little more. Don't telegraph it as much. Come up to the table and then Don't telegraph that you're going there. I like that. But he doesn't do it against anybody but the hard bat player, I've noticed. I'm like, why don't you try that against other kinds of serves? You're overestimating the spin on the ball. Nice. See how he got that net? Why does he do that against the hard bat player, but against the other players, he's never gets those shots? Yeah, I think he's got it in his head that somehow the spin is more than it is. That he's thinking it's a little more as far as some of the quality that he's facing spin wise. I know it's easier to say this stuff than it is to do it, but
Gosh, all these edges. 3 edges.
it's getting the edges like crazy.
Oh, another edge.
But Ben, you're not ready to hit that shot. You're letting that ball get on you. To me, he seems a little frustrated. I've noticed when he has a practice session and then he comes back the next time, he seems to get a little frustrated. Like if things don't automatically just start clicking. Yeah, but like I said, that's worrying about results too much. I'm telling you, we get that footwork going and get him getting more energy into the ball. The results are going to go up. Yeah, that ball should have been destroyed. That ball should have absolutely been destroyed. You can't slow step to it. Yeah, you can't slow step to that stuff. You've got to get there and there you go. It's a good return. He wasn't ready for, if the ball came back though, he wasn't ready. He wasn't even thinking about the ball coming back. Another bad habit I see him doing is catching the ball. I never catch the ball. Oh, 100%. I'm not saying, oh, it's night and day. I'm just looking at what I'm seeing, just small little things that need tweaked, that need adjusted and worked on. It might sound critical, but I'm not. He's improved tremendously. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I feel his pain. Yeah, I hate when I see guys that catch the ball. Let that ball go by. Even if you think that ball's not going to hit the table, get in position. The worst. I had a friend that I was helping get into table tennis a little bit, long time ago, and he would catch the ball. I was like, stop doing that. Let that damn ball go by. I want to see you in position, whether or not that ball's going to land or not. Move. Yeah, do not catch the ball. You will never see me do that in a match. I don't care if it's 5 feet out. I'm still acting like that ball's going to land. I'm still, yeah, one thing you'll never see me do is to catch the ball. That drives me nuts. Unless it's like hit right at you or something, you can't. Yeah, always be getting to your next shot. Don't watch your shot. Do anything you can to cut a 1/10 of a second off of your opponent's reaction time. That adds up. See, I like how he moved into position for that ball right there. I like that. Not that. No, maybe I missed it. I'll go back and then where he took the forehand. Don't catch that ball, Ben. Get ready to rip that ball. I like how he moved his feet there. I actually liked how he moved his feet. Unfortunately, he was worried about moving his racket. At the same time, he's starting his stroke while he's moving the feet instead of getting ready. That's a little better. At least he's engaged. See, destroy that ball. Destroy that ball. Nice shot. Make that guy move. Make that guy move. Yeah, once the footwork improves, he'll be able to make some angles. He's going to be able to. Nice shot. Is that hard bat? I can't tell. Yeah, I like to watch his progression. I mean, there's no doubt. There you go. Destroy it. Even on that smash though, I'd like to see him move the feet in position and get the proper weight shift where you have to you swing your racket less. Man, Terry looks like he's really trying hard this match. He looks winded to me, but he's really bearing down here. There it is. Nice. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, I'm gonna get on the robot for a little bit. I'm gonna fire up the laptop and get on the robot. It might be like 10 minutes or so, but not that, I'm just saying. I know I think I changed the setup. I changed my camera placement. Oh, definitely Terry's revenge match. Yeah, you could tell he didn't like losing those last two. Can't say I blame him, Ben's got to equal it. He's got to fire up. Start moving. Get on your horse. Let's go. All right, man. Hey, it was good talking with you. Like I said, I'm gonna get on the robot for maybe a half hour. I'll be firing up the live stream again. I'm gonna get on the robot a little bit. I like to do it just so I can watch myself for a couple minutes, just to make sure that I'm trying to get my fat ass in gear. It's like, look, it kind of gives me some motivation. So I'm gonna end it right here, but I'll be firing back up in about 10 minutes or so. I have the Stream Deck programmed to end the stream, and I can't remember how you end the stream again.